For several years now, Disney has been creating live-action versions of their animated films, movies that were based on fairy tales, such as Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, or Snow White by the Brothers Grimm. But do you remember that in 2011, Appian Way Productions, Leonardo DiCaprio's production company, released a movie based on the tale of Little Red Riding Hood, a fairy tale that was spread orally throughout much of Europe and later put into writing, first by Charles Perrault and later by the Brothers Grimm. And this is the recap. Welcome to Random Recaps. In this video, I am going to recap the movie. Everything begins with Valerie, a little girl who lives in a small, dark village where a werewolf prowls. Her parents Césaire and Suzette told her that she didn't have to go to the forest alone. But she has a friend named Peter, her love interest, who always made her break the rules, and they would go hunting together. 10 years later, Valerie continues to go to the forest alone to meet Peter. Although her parents want to force her to marry Henry, the son of the wealthy blacksmith Adrien Lazare, Valerie and Peter plan to run away together. But then they hear the bells, signaling that the wolf is nearby.
The wolf.
And Valerie realizes that the wolf, who broke the truce not to attack the villagers, has killed her sister Lucy. That night, while mourning Lucy's death, Valerie's mother takes the opportunity to insist that Valerie must marry Henry, even though she doesn't want to.
I didn't love your father when we were first married. I was in love with another man.
Knowing full well that Lucy was in love with Henry. Later at the tavern, the preacher, Father Auguste, says that he has asked for help from the famous witch hunter, Father Solomon, although the villagers are fed up and want to hunt the wolf themselves. Peter comes to offer condolences to Valerie, but her mother drives him away, basically telling him that her daughter can't be with him because he's poor.
You're broke! You're f***ing poor!
Encouraged by Adrien and Henry, the villagers decide to finally go kill the wolf. Peter tells Valerie that they won't be together.
Look, we had our fun. That's all it ever was.
Sad, Valerie goes to visit her grandmother, who comforts her and gives her a red hood. The villagers arrive at the wolf's lair, and upon entering, they split up, and that's when the wolf attacks. The next morning, Valerie goes to the tavern where she finds the villagers celebrating the wolf's death. But at the same time, they are sad about Henry's father's death. As Valerie walks, she sees her mother mourning Adrien's death, and she realizes that Adrien was the other man her mother loved. Her mother tells her that the reason she wouldn't let Lucy marry Henry was because Henry was her half-brother.
Papa know about Lucy?
No. And you have to promise me that you'll never tell.
Father Solomon arrives in the village only to tell the villagers that what they killed wasn't a werewolf but an ordinary gray wolf. Since Solomon has faced a werewolf before, he tells the villagers that a real werewolf would have returned to its human form after being killed. He also informs them that it's the time of the blood moon. If a werewolf bites you during a regular full moon, you just die, but if you're bitten under the blood moon, you turn into a werewolf. Solomon insists that the wolf is living in the village, hidden among the villagers. The villagers don't want to believe him and decide to celebrate the wolf's death.
Go ahead. Celebrate. We'll see who's right.
That night, Valerie looks for Peter to tell him that she loves him, as she doesn't care about Henry's wealth. Since Peter feels the same way about her, the two are about to get intimate when they are interrupted.
Aw, for the love of crud!
It's the night of the blood moon. The people continue celebrating the death of the werewolf, but then the werewolf arrives to kill anyone in its path. The villagers flee to the church, while Solomon and his men try to stop the werewolf, but the creature is too strong to fight. Valerie and her friend Roxanne are cornered by the wolf, and Valerie realizes that she can understand the wolf. The wolf threatens to kill Roxanne and destroy the village if Valerie doesn't leave with him.
Come with me.
No.
The wolf escapes, vowing to return for Valerie. The next day, many people in the village are dead, and Solomon orders an investigation of the entire village to see if anyone is behaving strangely. He also kills one of his men for being bitten on a blood moon night.
A man bitten is a man cursed!
Peter tells Valerie to run away with him. Remembering what the wolf told her, Valerie believes that Peter is the werewolf.
I can't go with you, Peter.
Why not?
Valerie tells her grandmother that she was able to talk to the wolf, thinking that she might also be the wolf. Henry tells Valerie that he saw her and Peter together, so he decides to call off the engagement. Solomon's men find Roxanne's lost brother, an autistic boy. Believing that he supposedly practices black magic, they throw Roxanne's brother into a furnace. Later, to free her brother, Roxanne tells them that Valerie is a witch who can talk to the wolf. Valerie admits that she was able to talk to the wolf, and that it wants her. Solomon locks Valerie up. Roxanne begs for her brother's release. He is freed, but dead. Later, Peter and Henry decide to save Valerie, and Peter asks Césaire for help. Valerie's grandmother goes to talk to Henry, implying that he is the wolf, but Henry tells her that she is the wolf, revealing that he can remember the beast's scent from when his father died. Solomon's men lock up Valerie's father as a precaution. Solomon takes Valerie to the square to lure the wolf. Night falls as Solomon and his men wait for the werewolf to arrive. Peter carries out his plan, and together with Henry, they save Valerie. Solomon orders Henry's execution, and Father Auguste tries to stop it, but Solomon kills him. Henry tells Valerie that Peter is waiting for them to escape, but Solomon's men capture Peter and lock him in the furnace. Since Valerie sees that Peter is not there, she briefly fears that Henry might be the wolf. Solomon's men search for Valerie, and they try to escape, but Henry is attacked. The two head to the church for safety from the werewolf, but Valerie isn't allowed inside. The werewolf arrives and cuts off Solomon's hand. The wolf threatens Valerie to leave with him, or he will destroy the village. Valerie wants to sacrifice herself, but her friends protect her until the wolf leaves before the sun rises. Since Father Solomon has been bitten by the wolf, the captain has no choice but to kill him.
A man bitten is a man cursed.
Valerie dreams of her grandmother, transformed into a wolf, saying the typical fairy tale line.
Grandmother, what big ears you have.
We see that Peter has escaped from the furnace, but no one knows where he is. Valerie wakes up and heads to her grandmother's house. On the way, Henry tells her that they will go after the wolf, taking advantage of the fact that he will be human so they can kill him. Walking through the forest, Valerie encounters Peter, believing that he is the wolf, and stabs him. Valerie arrives at her grandmother's house and finds her father, who confesses that he is the wolf.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
Seeing his hands covered in blood, she realizes that he killed her grandmother. He reveals that the curse was passed down to him by his own father, and that he intended to leave the village with his daughters. But when he tried to talk to Lucy, he realized that she wasn't his daughter because she couldn't understand him, and unable to control himself, he killed her.
I'm sorry for Lucy.
Realizing that she wasn't his daughter, Césaire took revenge on Adrienne and Suzette. Henry thought that Valerie's grandmother was the wolf because of her scent, although in reality, that scent came from Césaire's father's clothes, whom the grandmother didn't know was a werewolf. Césaire asks Valerie to accept the curse, but Valerie refuses. Then Peter arrives to kill the werewolf, but he can't defeat him. Valerie distracts him so that Peter can land a blow with an axe, and she takes the opportunity to stab him with the metal nails that Solomon's hand had. Before leaving, Peter shows Valerie that the wolf bit him. Valerie and Peter fill Césaire's body with stones and throw it into the lake to protect Valerie's secret from the villagers. Peter leaves, promising to return once he has learned to control the curse. Valerie says she will wait for his return. In the following years, the village returns to normal. Suzette realizes that Césaire will never return, although she still doesn't know that Valerie killed him. Henry becomes the next witch hunter, succeeding Father Solomon and becoming a very honorable man. The village continues to sacrifice livestock to the werewolf, fearing his return and not knowing that they have killed him. Meanwhile, Valerie chooses to live alone in the forest in her grandmother's old house, tired of living in the village. One night, Valerie hears something in the forest. She meets Peter, transformed into a werewolf and fully in control of his abilities. And that's how the movie ends. In the alternate ending, when Valerie sees Peter upon his return, she is holding their baby in her arms.